In the name of God, the gracious, the merciful, we give him praise and thanks for his mercy and his goodness to the human family. If all the trees upon the earth were pens to write with, and if all the oceans were ink, and then another 7 oceans to add to its supply, the writing would still not be enough to explain the glory of God, for he's the exalted, all-powerful, all-wise. We praise no other in our good fortune, and we confide in no other in our time of need. And even if I live to be 1,000, it still would not be enough to thank God for his many blessings and his gifts. We thank God for the Metu Netter, scriptures, oracles, and writings that came way before the 3 Abrahamic faiths. We thank him for Moses in the Torah, Jesus in the gospel, and Muhammad with the Quran. I greet everyone in words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. That simply means peace unto you. This is Brother Shareef, once again with the Hour of Power. Go to Hour of Power, Shareef Hamid on YouTube. Subscribe and share. Subscribe and share with like minds, and especially with those that can benefit from this message in an attempt to lift the mind, body, and soul of our people. And I would like to thank everyone who's been supporting the channel and supporting things that I've been doing in the community. I thank you all. Continue to do what you're doing to spread this message. It's not unseen. It's certainly not unappreciated. Today, I really don't have a particular topic other than I'm giving my commentary on the epic fight last night between the much anticipated fight between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. It was something to see, but I just want one comment before I get into that. Last night, I can't even express the feeling I had by being invited to watch the fight with an African family and an all African community. Salute, salute, salute to my brother Shaban, who is from Tanzania in Africa, and his beautiful wife Sia, who is from Sierra Leone. And they have formed their own African community here in Durham, and they were gracious enough to invite me over to watch the fight. It was brothers and sisters there from, actually posted a live, or posted a video about it, but I just can't reiterate it enough. It's historical to me. Brother Shaban is from Tanzania. His wife is from Sierra Leone. It was people there from Nigeria, all over the continent of Africa, at least 3-4 different places in Africa, but mostly Tanzania, Sierra Leone, in Nigeria. Those are the main places. There may have been some other places that some people were there, but it was a house full of people there. And it was just me and one other brother that were only Black Americans that were there. But how many times do you see Africans and Black Americans come together other than business? And what I mean by that is, typically when you see us interacting with each other, it's sisters braiding other sisters' hair, or us going I have a good brother. He's a good brother of mine. He's from Nigeria, and he has a place called Africa Land. So if you're ever in Durham and you want oils, incense, African artifacts, he's a wonderful brother named Brother Yutube, and he has a place called Africa Land. But my point is, typically when you see Africans and Blacks interacting, it's not on a social level, not social interaction. Now, I've been a lot of places and I know a lot of people, but typically that's what I see. I don't see us just breaking bread together like family, coming to each other's home like family. That's what family does typically. And, give me some feedback on this, family, whoever watches this. Typically, that's the interaction, especially with sisters. You go, I'm going to this African sister and get my hair braided. And it's such a divide there, like we're from 2 different planets or something. And it's by design. It's some responsibility on us having stereotypes about them. And then it's some responsibility on them letting Europeans and the media brainwash them. They're like, I don't want nothing to do with them people. They walk around with their pants sagging, they curse, they ignorant. And unfortunately, some of our people haven't developed mentally. And when they are fed those stereotypes, then when they come to the country and they see some of that activity by some of our people who haven't raised up their mentality, like, oh, they told us that, I'm staying away from them. So the interaction last night was absolutely beautiful. And in my lifetime, it was historic to see Africans and people, blacks from America, interacting with each other like family. Man, salute Brother Shaban and Sister Sia and all the other brothers and sisters from the continent that I met last night. They welcomed me. They fed me well. They were hospitable. And they said, brother, we appreciate the work that you're doing in the community. We've been seeing some of your videos. It has inspired us. And you have informed us on things that we didn't even know about. And we're from Africa. So salute to all the brothers and sisters there. And I encourage anyone, if you come in contact with brothers and sisters from Africa, have an open mind and try to interact, with them, because we're family. We're all one. We're all one. So now, let's get to this fight. Mr. McGregor, you said you was going to knock Floyd out, and for a round, you started all this racial tension, calling him boy and dance for me boy, and disrespecting our sisters. And I know people like, oh, well, that's just hyping up the fight. And man, you went too far. You went too far. So you got served I would say something else, but your behind got served last night. Served. And let me make it perfectly clear. I'm not this big Floyd Mayweather fan. I'm from the old school. Of course, my brother Muhammad Ali. Salute to you, brother. We haven't forgotten you. We haven't forgotten you. May you rest in peace, and may the Most High God give you everything that you deserve for your service on this earth. But I'm more of a Muhammad Ali man. My brother Larry Holmes, he's from around the way up there in Pennsylvania. Man, they just brought the fight. Hagler. I'm an old school dude. But I mean, Floyd has his own style. He kind of is a technician, a defensive technician. He'll drag out the, fight, just kind of pick you apart with the jab, pepper you around. And, that's his style. But this isn't really his boxing style, because anyone that knows anything about boxing, you're not supposed to get hit. You're not supposed to go in the ring with the intention of getting hit. You're supposed to not get hit. So people saying, oh, you ain't supposed to get hit. My thing with Floyd is, with all that money he got, instead of investing in a gentleman's club or a strip club like he has now, I wish he would invest that money in a school for black children or for black people, a hospital. Okay. Our brother Umar Johnson, no matter what you think of the brother, he's a personal friend of mine. He's trying to start a school. Give that money to him, Floyd, instead of having our sisters up on the stage shaking their behind and people putting money in the G-string and stuff. Come on, man. I got a good brother here, Brother Simran. I'm a part of the new community center, and we're trying to do big things. Ain't just giving lectures and talks. We have a lot of plans in place after we did Garvey Day last week to start a black credit union and do things that's really going to change the economic scheme of our people. Help us out, Floyd. Come on, brother. Spend your money wisely to help our people, and so the Most High will be pleased with you. But that's on you. But to the fight, Floyd really brought it last night. He had me nervous there. So McGregor started out, which I thought he would, the first 2-3 rounds. Even though he never hurt Floyd, he never staggered him or anything like that. But from a scorecard standpoint, he did win the first 2 or 3 rounds. But it was all a game plan. He wore himself out, and I'm very surprised by his performance. So the analysts are now, mainly the white ones, are making excuses for him, saying, oh, he hung in there with him 10 rounds. But that was a poor performance of boxing. I don't question his effort. He gave it all he could, but he cannot box. After all this talk that he did. And after training for months, I don't know the exact amount of months he trained, but they've been hyping this fight up all summer. We're at the end of August now. Today's the 27th. Yesterday was the 26th, the day of the fight. He had to been training for months. I mean, he was out there. He wasn't jabbing and punching. He was slapping and chopping. That's not boxing. I grew up watching boxing with my dad. I know a boxer when I see one. Boxing is one of my favorite sports. That was very poor performance and execution of boxing. So when Floyd Mayweather Sr. said, I could beat I can beat Conor McGregor, I'm starting to believe him, even though he's 61, 62 years old. That was very poor. If you see his tactics and his method, that was poor. He was slapping, chopping, grabbing in the back of the head. The referee in the beginning of the fight looked directly at him. I'd never seen anything like that. Normally a referee is looking forward and they have them and they're going over the rules. He was looking directly at McGregor saying, don't do this, don't do that. He didn't even address Floyd as if Floyd wasn't even there. But then when it came time to enforce the rules of boxing, he didn't take not one single point off during that fight. He was chopping, slapping, rabbit punching. And that's people talking about what Floyd was turning around. Nah, this guy was doing all kind of illegal tactics. He ain't take not one single point off. So it was poor refereeing too. But again, his execution, he wasn't jabbing, straight jabs and flush punches. Man, he was a slapping like a girl and chopping down. What kind of training were you doing for all these months, Mr. McGregor? You talked all that junk. What were you doing? I mean, I know you're an MMA fighter and that's not your discipline, but he didn't even belong in that ring. And another thing, who is going on 41 and who's 27? He says he started fatiguing and getting tired. He started feeling fatigue. Oh, yes, you did. But I thought you were 27 years old. But stamina is stamina. If you don't have the skill set to beat someone and someone is just flat out better than you, then it is what it is. But if you have stamina in MMA or stamina in boxing, to me, stamina is stamina. I know they say, well, the MMA don't go as long, but after 3-4 rounds, to be winded and your legs to go out under you. If you watch that fight, after about that 3rd or 4th round, he was done. I'm surprised he lasted that long. I think it was a plan by Floyd to feel him out and just to pick him apart and to give the people their money's worth, so to speak, Money Mayweather. But this man was about done after the 4th or 5th round. He didn't have, because in the beginning, he was moving forward. And then after the 4th or 5th round, then the tide changed. Then Floyd Mayweather became the stalker. And I've never seen that from Floyd before. Normally, he just kind of moves around a lot, sticks and moves. But he stalked him from about the 4th or 5th round on. And he really brought the fight. They say Floyd don't got no punching power. Man, he was tagging that cat, man. Bam, bam, bam. Giving him the business, man. So salute to you on that, Floyd. Got to give credit where credit is due. And I'll give credit to McGregor. He gave an effort, but it was a poor execution of boxing. Again, he was chopping down and slapping. He didn't land any real flush punches. They showed one little uppercut and it was more of a graze. He never hurt Floyd. He never staggered him. He didn't have a mark on him. That was a pure 100% unadulterated butt whooping by Floyd. And one last point. You know, just to show the hypocrisy of this country. And before I make this last point, go to my YouTube channel again, Our Power Shareef Hamid. One of the first videos I put on that channel was the history of racism in boxing, and I took it all the way back to 1810. So go to that, and I talked about this at least 2 months ago. I talked about it, but my channel's only been up for a month. But go on there, it's the history of racism in boxing, and in there I talked about the hypocrisy of this country. Meaning, if you look up the word patriotic, it means one who has a lot of zeal and vigor for one's country and for one's countrymen. Again, the definition of patriotic is one who has a lot of zeal, a lot of vigor, and expresses, a lot of excitement for their country and will do anything to defend their country and their countrymen. You got that right? Not a hard definition. So my question is, who is the American in this fight? Is it McGregor or is it Floyd Mayweather? The last time I checked, Floyd Mayweather is an American and McGregor is an outsider. He's an Irishman. But if you was to take a poll, and you saw it last night, even when they were going over the rules, you heard them chanting, "Go McGregor, go McGregor." And when they thought he was on his way to be the next white hope and win this fight, it seemed like the majority of the crowd was for McGregor. But that's not being patriotic, America. And citizens that were going for him, you got the right to cheer for whoever you want. But it's awful strange that now all of a sudden it's not about patriotism. Giving Colin Kaepernick hell won't hire this man when he deserves a job because they said he was being unpatriotic by not standing for the flag and kneeling and protesting, which is legal, which is his constitutional right. And here we are, 2-3 weeks away from the opening of the NFL season, and this man still don't got a job because talking about Colin Kaepernick, because he's being blackballed because they said he was being unpatriotic. So how is America? Because if you was to do a poll, I bet you 95%, if not more, of white America is rooting for Conor McGregor. So how is that being patriotic, rooting for an outsider when Floyd Mayweather is the American? That seems very hypocritical to me. Again, that doesn't seem like being patriotic to me, which is having a zeal and excitement for one's country or countrymen and willing to do whatever you have to do to defend your country. That's the definition of patriotic. Where was the patriotism and being patriotic last night with this fight? How come the majority of white America, I haven't seen any statistics, but just using my eye test, how come most of y'all are rooting, white America's rooting for an outsider? That don't seem to be patriotic. I even talked to a white guy the other day and he said he flew some family members in from Ireland to come see this fight to root for McGregor. So that's the zeal that they have. I can understand that. They rooting for their countrymen. But what about all the other millions of Americans? Awful strange. So again, this is Brother Shareef. Brother Shareef's commentary on the epic fight of McGregor and Mayweather. Salute to Floyd Mayweather for putting on a show. It was an epic fight. It was one for the ages. I think Floyd was always in control, but it did at least live up to the hype. Okay, so this is the Hour of Power with Shareef Hamid. Again, go to the channel, subscribe and share. Subscribe and share. Salute to all those who have been supporting me and supporting the channel. Share it with like minds so we can lift the mind, body, and soul of our people. And remember, if you come across a brother or sister from the continent, lock up with them and don't just interact with them to get your hair braided or to get some oils or incense or something on a business level. Of course, support black business, but try to link up with them on a social and a personal level because we need each other. We need knowledge from them from the continent of Africa, certain things that they do over there, and they need to know our struggle. I told them that last night. I said, you don't understand our struggle as black Americans. We have been through a lot and we're still going through a lot. And we need your camaraderie and we need your support because we are family. Like Frankie Beverly and Mays said, we are one. Thank you for listening. Again, Our Power, Shareef Hamid. Brother Shareef giving his commentary on the epic Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor fight. I leave you in peace. To my Muslim family, assalamu alaikum. To my Christian family, praise the Lord. To my Hebrew Israelite family, shalom. To my black conscious family, hotep. And to my people in the streets, what's good to you. It all means peace. Be good to yourself, be good to each other, and send positive vibes to each other. Peace.